Ever feel like your brain's stuck on a hamster wheel? You know that one where it's just worry on repeat?
Yeah, like it's going a mile a minute and you just can't seem to hit the
But
ground.
exactly. And honestly, who hasn't been there? But the good news is we're diving deep into all things anxiety today.
We are talking a full-on toolkit to help you, dear listeners, get a handle on things.
I love that. A toolkit. Because let's be real, anxiety is a universal human experience.
Totally. It's like this built-in alarm system that's supposed to keep us safe.
Right, like a heads up that something might be off.
Exactly. But sometimes that alarm gets a little overzealous. Starts blaring when there's not even a real threat.
It's like that car alarm that goes off every time a bird lands on it.
Yes. Perfect analogy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where these amazing insights you've gathered come in.
Let's jump right into the first tool in our kit, shall we? And that's cognitive behavioral therapy, or as the cool kids call it, CBT.
Love it. So CBT, pioneered by this brilliant guy, Aaron Beck, is all about understanding how our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all connected.
Okay, so it's like a chain reaction.
Exactly. Think of it this way. You have a big presentation coming up.
Oh, I can feel the butterflies already just thinking about it.
Right. And so your inner voice starts going, oh, no, I'm going to totally freeze up. What if I forget everything? That kind of thing.
Oh, 100%. My inner critic can be brutal.
And that's where CBT swoops in to save the day. It helps you hit the pause button on those thoughts and swap them out for something more helpful, more realistic.
Okay, so instead of I'm going to totally crash and burn, it's more like, okay, this is a chance for me to share my knowledge. And even if I stumble a bit, it's not the end of the world. Is that kind of it?
You've got it. It's like you are rewiring those neural pathways.
Yeah.
So the more you challenge those irrational thoughts and replace them with balanced ones, the more your brain starts to naturally go to a calmer place.
Wow, that is such a powerful concept. It's like giving your brain a mental workout, right?
Exactly. And speaking of workouts, let's talk about another powerful tool, mindfulness.
I feel like there are some misconceptions about mindfulness, like you have to be sitting cross-legged on a mountaintop to do it right.
Right. Like you need to be some kind of Zen master.
Totally. So what is mindfulness, really?
Well, mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR, as Jon Kabat-Zinn, who really brought this to the forefront, describes it, is about learning to be present in the moment. It's not about emptying your mind or stopping your thoughts altogether.
Which I think is where a lot of people get tripped up.
Absolutely. It's more about noticing your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. Think of it this way. Your thoughts are like cars driving by. You don't have to hop in every single one. You can just let them pass.
Okay, so it's less about stopping the thoughts and more about changing how we react to them.
You got it. It's about choosing a different response.
Right.
And a simple way to practice MBSR is with your breath. Like right now, just take a slow, deep breath in, hold it for a beat, and then exhale slowly. Just notice those sensations, the rise and fall of your chest.
Yeah, I can feel that. It is actually really calming.
Right. Just a few conscious breaths can be like a mini vacation for your mind.
Okay, that's a tool I am definitely adding to my kit. Now, this next one, I'll be honest, it feels a little bit like facing your fears head on, which can be kind of intimidating.
You're talking about exposure therapy.
Yes. I feel like this one might make some people a little uneasy.
It can definitely feel a bit daunting.
Mm-hmm.
But when done correctly, and this is key, with a qualified therapist, exposure therapy can be incredibly effective. This is where Joseph Wolpe's work is so important. He essentially found that by gradually exposing yourself to the thing you're afraid of, starting small and working your way up, you can actually retrain your brain to be less reactive.
So it's like instead of jumping straight into the deep end, you start in the shallows and get comfortable there.
Exactly. Say you have a fear of public speaking. Instead of going straight to giving a presentation to a huge audience, you might start by practicing with a close friend, then maybe a small group, and gradually work your way up to larger settings.
It's like building up that confidence muscle one step at a time.
I love that. You're getting it. It's all about showing your brain that, hey, this isn't so scary after all.
So fascinating how our brains work. Okay, switching gears a bit. Herbert Benson takes a different approach, focusing on the body's role in anxiety. What's the deal with this relaxation response?
This is where things get really interesting. Benson discovered that techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and progressive muscle relaxation don't just feel calming in the moment, they actually create physiological changes in the body.
So it's not just in our heads, it's actually impacting our bodies on a physical level.
Exactly. They activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the rest and digest response, and counteracts that fight or flight response we feel when we're stressed or anxious.
It's like hitting the brakes on the stress train, for real.
Hmm.
And this reminds me of Albert Bandura and his emphasis on self-efficacy and having a strong support system. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes knowing you're not alone in this.
It's huge. Think about it. When you have people in your corner, people you can confide in and who believe in you, it boosts your self-efficacy. You start to feel more capable of handling whatever challenges come your way.
It's like having your own personal cheer squad for mental health. I love that.
Me too. And, we can't talk about anxiety without touching on lifestyle factors.
Right, the foundational stuff. This is where David Barlow's work comes in, highlighting things like diet, exercise, and sleep, basically. All the things our mothers have been telling us to do forever.
They were right. And it's because these things directly impact our brain and body's ability to regulate emotions. Take sleep, for example. When you are sleep deprived, it's like your brain is running on fumes. It makes you much more susceptible to stress, irritability, and those anxious thoughts can spiral out of control much more easily.
It's like trying to drive a car with a sputtering engine. You're not going to get very far.
A perfect analogy. Taking care of your physical health is foundational for managing your mental health as well.
So, to recap, we've got CBT to help reframe those thoughts, mindfulness to observe them without judgment, exposure therapy to face our fears gradually, the relaxation response to calm our bodies, social support to lift us up, and healthy habits to keep us grounded.
That's your personalized anxiety toolkit right there. The key is to experiment and see what works best for you.
Exactly. You don't have to use every tool at once. It's about finding the ones that resonate with you and fit into your life. And maybe start small. What's one technique we talked about that you could try incorporating into your routine today, even in just a small way? It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths.
Love that. Start small, be consistent, and remember, you've got this.
And on that note, until next time, be kind to your mind and remember you are not alone.